All right, so in this video, I'm just going to go over what I would do if I was going to make a short film in 2024, and kind of give you like my kind of game plan. Now, I've made a few short films in the past, animated, some live action, and I've made plenty of mistakes. And currently, I'm working on making a full-length animated feature film. I'm trying to document my journey on YouTube, and yeah, this is just kind of what I would do personally. I'm not going to go over the production side of things necessarily, like, oh, follow this tutorial to make this realistic thing, because there's so much you could do. But regardless of that, so you want to make a short film, right? And I probably in Blender. If not, that's totally fine. But first, I think what you should do is set your expectations. Okay, what do you actually want to make? Because if not, you'll be like this. This is literally an example of me. I have this big idea, and then goes a week, a month, a year, and you'll be like, what have I done? Like, honestly, like what have I done? This is not what I thought it was. And you'll feel really overwhelmed and be like, oh dear, this is an absolute disaster. I don't even know where I am. You'll maybe be stuck with the idea, the script, or even production, and it's just not going to be fun. So if you can figure out what sort of short film you actually want to make in the first place, so animated, 2D, 3D, figuring out these sort of things are important. So assuming if you're watching this, you're probably going to be wanting to make an animated 3D short film. But think about, do you want to make it action, drama, something else? Like, think about the genre, think about length, think about as much detail as you can, but don't overthink it at the same time. Like, it's important to know this, but also you don't want to overthink it. So then the second thing I would do is, why do you want to make a short film? So this is actually, I feel like, more important than this even. Do you want to just tell a story? Do you want to make cool looking shots? Do you want to ask a question of the audience? Like, I don't know, sometimes it's really fun to just like make an audience like just ask themselves a really big question. Just like, there's all sorts of movies out there, right? Or do you just want to make something cool to show your friends? Like, all of those are legitimately totally fine reasons to want to make an animated short film, or just a live action short film, or any movie for that matter. But you want to, I would write that down. Why do I want to make this? Okay, so when you are, that's nice. Okay, so when you're like midway through the project and you're like, what have I done? You actually have some ground to come back to and be like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. If not, you're just gonna be like, oh, float away, and you're not gonna actually finish. So, sorry. And then the third thing I would think about is, when do I want to make my short film? Like, a time frame. And also, gonna add on a side note, think about the length of the short film you want to make. So a lot of people are like, I want to make a 20-minute short film. I'm like, but do you? Just keep that in mind. Sometimes it's best to start small, right? And then once you have all those things, it all starts with an idea. So I can't help you necessarily just conjure up from thin air great ideas, and it takes a lot of work to come up with an idea. But at the end of the day, you're the only person who can come up with that idea. And if you're really stuck, something I've always wanted to do and I've not done actually, so I can't vouch for this, is side tangent, I guess, is just take two movies that you really like, or maybe a movie you like and a movie you think you could be better, and be like, how do you merge those, rename the characters, change the setting, and you just have this completely different story. And that maybe it's a horrible idea, but someone out there, somebody's gonna do that and be like, oh, this is sick, because anyway, that's random. So it starts with an idea. If you don't have an idea, keep thinking, basically. And maybe I should make a video on how to come up with great ideas, or I don't know. And not like I'm an expert at that or something, but seriously, one small spark can set the flame ablaze. I'm not even sure if that makes sense, but hopefully you guys slightly comprehend that. It just takes one little minuscule idea, and then so something I've seen or noticed, a lot of people who use Blender, they don't like to use scripts. Okay, they're just like, oh, I have my idea, and I'm gonna make I don't even know, half-baked storyboard, and then they're just gonna jump into production, and they're creating 3D models, and this is me also, and then they're watching bazillion tutorials on how to make something look cool, and they're you'll end up with a 3D model here, and you'll have this idea, and oh, maybe I am a believer in you having your idea, and then you go and write a killer script, okay? Because frankly, like the reason this is bigger than this and like everything that would come after is because this is what it all sits on. Like imagine like these are bricks. Like yeah, if this is like shaky, all this is gonna come crashing down. So you want it to be solid. Seriously, you really do. So take the time to actually like flesh your idea out, as they say. It's gonna be hard, and it takes lots of time. Trust me, I know this because I'm currently doing that for my animated feature film. You know, I'm currently rewriting my feature film, literally. It's a lot of work, you know. It's so much work. It's quite a lot of work, but it's also incredibly rewarding. So yeah, that's okay. I have to switch screens. There we go. Josh is figuring it out, guys. Let's go. So once you have your script, and there's so many good resources out there. I'm just gonna throw it out for you. Save the Cat. If you've never heard of that, well, you're welcome. Check it out. There's like a book. There's a whole bunch of resources out there. Dan Harmon's Story Circle. Look that up. Just all like just basic storytelling things. Like if you can learn and get yourself saturated with just a little bit of it, you know, you're gonna set yourself apart from all the other Blender users who, well, they know how to make cool things, but they don't actually know how to tell a cool story. So, like seriously, it's so important. I just like drive this home. Seriously, it's so important. So, yeah, I'm very passionate about like having a good script. Okay, and then, and I've made this mistake many times. You want to go from script, and you don't want to just jump into production, even though you're like, oh, I now have a script and I know what the character looks like, so I'm gonna make the 3D model. I'm gonna find a look at the film, and now I'm just gonna watch a zillion tutorials. And I'm gonna like start production, and it's just gonna be a big mess. You want to go from a script to some sort of rough visual draft, and that can be a previs, a storyboard, an animatic, or something else. It really doesn't matter as long as you turn your words into pictures somehow, because the idea is you're creating a film, right? So that's very important. Like seriously, it's so important. You know, it's easy to try to skip this, but it doesn't ever end well. It really does not. Yeah, I've done like short films, and I completely skipped over this part, and you can tell. I feel like you can tell. It helps so much to just have a piece of paper, or for a previs, it's like a 3D storyboard. Imagine, just look it up. Now, and simple goes a long way. Like you literally do not need anything complex. It literally can look horrifying, and ideally, it is horrifying. Like literally the point of it is just to get, where's the character, where are they looking, like what's the camera roughly at? Is it close up, wide, or a medium shot? You know, just like the most basic stuff you possibly. And like I could do a million videos on this, so this is just like a rough overarching view on it. And also I will say, try to get into some watch some cinematography videos, and like think about like how you're gonna block the shots basically when you're working on this part. And then finally, once you create your whole film in this rough version, then you can actually get into production. And I'd say this even for, it depends, for a live action short film. Like if I actually, especially if I had a budget and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna pay actors, and like I'm broke, I don't have that sort of money. So, but if I had that, I'd want to. Well, of course, I'd want to storyboard it somehow, but like I'd even maybe potentially make a 3D version, because I'm a nerd and I know how to use Blender. So like the look of it, like low poly versus realistic, you know, the style, like whether the color scheme is attractive or just disgusting, or whether the animation's a little janky, all that doesn't matter in my personal opinion, because if you have a really good script and really good, you know, if the scenes are blocked out well, and the idea is good, it doesn't matter. Like it literally, like yeah, it's crazy. So that's basically all I have for you. If you guys want me to, I don't know. I just felt like I should like make a visual version of like kind of what I'm very passionate about. Like create a script, please, guys, please create a script. But if not, still create a script. And then the thing is, it doesn't have to look like, you know, my screenplay. It doesn't have to be professional, you know. It literally can be a Google Doc with, oh, we open on this, then we go here. But try to think of your stories with beginning, middle, end, and idea, like, you know, Dan Harmon's Story Circle, you know, we came, we saw, we conquered, kind of, you know, have a character go through a full story basically. it's a lot of fun when it actually, you know, you actually put all the work in and then it comes together, just like, yes, finally. So that's all I have for you guys today. You feel free to ask questions or blah 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 whatever in the comments. I'll get around to them eventually, and I might even make a whole video on it, whatever you ask. So with that, all that, ciao. See you in the next one, and bye bye. Enjoy the journey.